Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenneth91619 with some War Thunder Air Domination Episode 1 here. I will be using a German tech tree since this is the main one I use. I'm just showing you some reserve planes in American tech line. I'll be primarily focusing on the BF-109E3. In my next video I'll be showing the BF-109F4, which is my highest tier as of now. And gonna upload some of my crew members here before I go into battle. And can't forget about repair speed. Very crucial in battle if you want to keep your plane going. And there's three types of, game types. There's arcade battles, historical, and full battles. Arcade is just that simplified, air combat controls, and historical battles can be obviously historical battles with the realistic controlling, and realistic warfare is going to be applying those realistic controlling factors into the arcade mode. So that's that, and not exactly sure what map I'll be playing here in a sec. I'm playing Domination on Pelew. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. Seems to be an island off the Pacific. And for my payload, I'll be using 2 machine guns, 2 cannons, and a 250 kilogram bomb. Since we do have enemy fleet, carriers, cruisers, and destroyers. Actually, minus the carriers. I'm just showing you my plane here. And it's glorious view. I love that 250K bomb down there. It just suits it very well. But of course it slows down my plane every time you put bombs on the plane, or if you happen to fuel up to a full tank, which is why I always minimize my fuel in my tank. Since I'm in arcade mode, I don't run out of fuel, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And up on the left upper hand corner, we have our throttle, which is at 100%. I can open my throttle to pass the 100% capacity. Next thing we have is our quote-unquote miles per hour. I change it. It's I believe kilometers an hour stock. And then underneath that we have our altitude and of course our bomb. And then we just have the word instructor for whatever reason. And this is into the cockpit, and it's just showing you various different view positions, I guess. And I got my eye on this light cruiser here. Already one of my teammates is under fire. It looks like a torpedo bomber. I was just double checking. We actually destroyed that light cruiser, so I'm going to go ahead and head for this destroyer here. Literal over 14,000 feet away. Going to be doing my drop here. Notice my angle of elevation as I'm coming down this destroyer. It's not exactly a whole 90 degrees. I'm a little over 45 degrees. And I start to level out as I'm coming closer to the destroyer. And my crosses actually blink red once my target is within hitting view, I guess. And I get a perfect hit on that plane. And there goes the G tolerance of my pilot is very high, so my apologies for that. Do a little air maneuver here. I got a bunch of these shells coming at me from the destroyers. And my pilot's in trouble here, but he's got way too many fighters on his ass. I'm trying to save my own skin as well here, so I'm going to decide to go for that. I believe that's a Soviet bomber, but then I'm like, nah, I'm going to go for this guy, F-U, or F-4U, which I believe is an American. And I am using stealth shells here for my cannon machine gun loadout. So, well, I mean, I'm recording and playing at the same time, so it's gonna be a little, controls a little sluggish for me. The gameplay actually looks smoother than I was actually playing it at. But he starts to, actually, no, never mind. That's a different plane. I always raise my flaps to combat mode when I'm dive bombing on the fighter. Very controversial when talking about German fighters because they aren't the best at turn fights, quote, or per se. So best way to use German fighters is to use them as energy fighters, which basically means you dive bomb on various aircraft and or ground targets, like you will with a dive bomber. And I guess the preferred altitude for most German fighters is 4,000 feet. You mark your target, you drop down on it, do some damage, and then pull up and gain your altitude back to 4,000 feet before the enemy knows what hits them. And this goes back to the whole concept of the blitzkrieg, which is what the Nazis used in World War II, which I guess evolved in how the aircrafts were designed, with this factor in mind, is the whole, conquer the battlefield as soon as possible, overwhelm the enemy. So Germans did not have in mind to do a lot of dogfighting, at least with these particular aircraft that I own. Of course, when you get to the higher BF-109s, maneuverability increases actually by a lot. So as soon as I get Tier 8, Tier 9, or Tier 11, I'll definitely post a video on that to show you guys some of that sweet German air superiority. But as for now, we're going to be using E-3, which happens to be my favorite Tier 6 so far. And it's actually when the German planes German fighters in particular start to get really good. But I can't save this destroyer in time, I think. Drops his payload, and ship starts sinking. But I do drop on this guy very nicely, I do rather say. I do a 180, and then he actually wasn't going fast enough, so I was just going to go head to head from above him. Keep in mind I do have turrets. So all my ammunition's stealth, so I won't have any tracers in my cannons or machine guns, which makes it rather difficult to shoot for me. But I've gotten so used to it that I know where it's going to hit, and it's a very great tool to use, I guess. Enemy doesn't know what hits them and they jack my kill. I just hate when people jack your kill. Yeah, you can't tell if someone's shooting you until they actually hit you. They could be bullets with, unless you're shooting 37mm cannons, then of course you're gonna know that's coming at you. I don't know why I marked a destroyer. My bomb's not close to replenishing, I guess. I'm gonna go help these guys out over here. Got two fighters tailing them, and then the third one's going at them head to head here. Judging by the amount of bullets there, I'm going to say it's either Russian or American fighter, since they do happen to have a load of... Whoa! Okay. Uncalled for, and I luckily survived that encounter. Yeah, they have a shit ton of machine guns, I kid you not. But machine guns can only do so much damage. When we're talking about an effective fighter, we're talking cannons here, and... I do one of the most rookiest mistakes ever when dive bombing and someone's not climbed immediately after. I happen to get him on my tail now, and I luckily managed, I believe, to lose him here. But I'm playing with my camera angles way too much, and kind of losing a bit. I usually like to shoot from far distance because my shells aren't really going to hit that well, or bullets. They're shooting both, but... So I'm going to climb here and see if I can just drop on him. And he seems to have a bunch of tear in his wings because his speed is very slow. I'm losing them, and nope, both roll over. And the bastard is pretty smart there. Losing for a second here. I don't know where the hell he went. I actually don't know where the hell he went. So like, screw it, let's drop a 250k bomb on that destroyer. Unfortunately, I reached the end of my run here. I tried to do my best to get that fire out and evade this cunt that's on my ass right now. Just look at those bullets, man. This guy probably has 4 machine guns loaded in his brain. I mean, let's just check this shit out, right? It's crazy. I usually like to play on maps that are more inland just because it's a lot more fun to maneuver between mountains, but I try my best here. Try to open my landing gear to see if I can land on that strip, but with no luck. I crashed in the water. Yeah, that was my per se air domination there. Our team ends up winning, so sweet, thumbs up there. And then, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope to be making plenty more of these videos in the future, and I'm sorry if I haven't posted any Battlefield 3 videos. It appears that like the servers are down or something. Someone's been like hacking the servers and people aren't able to connect. So as soon as Battlefield 3 is up and running, I'll be make sure to make some sniper video gameplays, I guess, or some medic gameplays, just because I haven't done medic in a while. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.